Hey guys, welcome back to Meepers Jeepers. I'm here with Master Tech Bob, and today we are doing a
toolbox tour
of his mobile unit bus.
Yep. So I got a couple cool boxes on here, plenty of tools, so we can help the guys out in the field when they need a hand. Well, let's get into it. First, we'll start here on your right, my left. We have a Maco 3-bay 4S box. So this is what it started with. As you can see, I got my big Milwaukee impact there for doing lug nuts on semis and whatnot. My top drawer is a bit of a mess. I don't have it all lined up with the sockets, but when you're out on a road call, these little kits like this come in super handy. So, this is a snap-on 1/4-inch drive set. You can see I got a hose clamp in there from the last job I was doing. So, little kits like this come in super handy because they're grab and go. So, that's what I tried to set majority of this up as. I got big breaker bars in here, a multimeter, big torque wrench. Next drawer down is my wrench drawer. So, got some pry bars back there in the back. Also have the wide mouth adjustable wrenches for fittings and whatnot, and a little drill bit case. So this is where I usually keep some of the power drawers. It is a power bank, but I've made some changes to the back of the bus to where I have my power bank all set up here on the wall instead of in the drawer taking up room. But this kit here is just a pin press kit for doing anchor pins on brake chambers, whatnot. Do a lot of commercial roadside assistance stuff. I got my plier drawer, but it gets a little rowdy in here sometimes driving the bus. Big vehicle going over bumps, whatnot, things get jostled around. Bottom drawer is more of, like I said, those grab and go cases. Got a CAC pressure tester. This is a pretty sweet setup here. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet from Mac. But this is a pressure test, refill, and retain kit. So it does the job of 3 tools all in one. So it's pretty awesome. If you haven't seen that, maybe we could do a video on that review as well. But I got my power probe, a little vise, and then, see, like I said, a large truck coolant system adapter set. So a lot of coolant repairs, hoses, whatnot on the road. Center section here. Top drawer is my screwdrivers and hammers. Got me a nice punch set. Again, all the stuff I try to put in here is more of a grab and go. But this is the Mayhew Pro set, chisel and punches. But it's nice because it's, all rolled up, ready to go. So, yeah, it makes it easy. You just roll it up and hit the road. So, my next drawer down, I get into my 1/2-inch drive standard set. The next drawer down will be the metric, but got all my sockets in there I need. Of course, got the, if it's a Cat, you got it painted yellow. If it's a Detroit, got it painted gray. And if it's a Cummins, got it painted red. I don't know, just little tips and tricks to help me go a little bit faster while we're out there. Torque drive set. Of course, I do have some Harbor Freight stuff in here. So this set is real nice if you're ever getting into the, what are they called? The Huck Bolt design style. I don't know where it's, I'll show you here. It's got this square drive. This socket here is pretty much the only one I've ever used out of that kit. But it's double-ended square drive, and that side, it's Bud style wheels. So, of course, got my big 1/2-inch adapters and some extensions. Hose pick set, that one's in the shop right now. Some extractor sets. I'm a big fan of specialized extractors, especially when it comes to like the Pro Max kits. Those things come in super handy when you're out in the field. Bottom drawer, just another little tap and die set I got. We'll move over to the far left side here of the 4S. So top drawer, this is my multimeter, my electronics starting setup. Next one is electronics repair. So I got a set of the crimpers that we talked about. I think we had these in the video in there. So these are real nice. They're a ratcheting style, but it comes with the different adapters. A little torch for heat shrink. Different little pin release tools. Junk drawer. You know, everybody's got to have one of those.
Got one.
So this kit here is pretty sweet. So this is called the shark fin. This is for removing stuck drums or duals that are stuck together. It just air inflates, pops them right apart.
Nice.
So, and of course got your little Slim Jim kits. You never know when you have a lockout call. Here we go. This is pretty sweet. So tire pressure, getting into doing tires. So this is Snap-on's digital gauge. I think they said it's like accurate within like 1/10 of a pound. But I put a different adapter on it. This is pretty sweet, something my father-in-law got me. But it pulls down and grips onto the valve stem so that it kind of stays in place. And then, you know, with the digital inflator, it makes it real nice because you can be far away from the tire so you're not, you know, having your head right next to it. Exactly. And then siphon hoses, extra hoses, pieces I run into, and of course a porta power.
Porta power is a hydraulic jack, basically.
Right. Yep. So now we'll get into the big Snap-on. So I used to have this in the shop. I had a workstation and the bookshelf as well as a side locker. But to make it fit in the bus, I had to, you know, downsize a little bit. But my top drawer is where I got my sockets and torque wrenches. Also have some of those sweet Mac drill bit kits because they're the only ones that warranty their drill bits out. But I got swivel sockets, standard, metric, you know, shallow, a little bit of everything in here. But this was my go-to box in the shop prior. If you guys haven't seen these, I call these the death grip. These things grip like nobody's business, better than any monkey wrench, way faster and easier to use. I really like those. I want to get
it's like basically a take on vice grips, basically.
Yep. And of course, got the old telescoping breaker bar, but I've bent it, so you really have to. It's like it's got to put. Oh man, yeah. So that's the reason I bought the big Snap-on one. So that Maco just didn't seem to hold up. Next drawer down again, wrench drawer. Got some pretty sweet offsets in here. The Snap-on metric offset set, you know, the gear wrench, swivel head, ratcheting wrenches, those come in super handy. And of course got the old school Mac wrenches, those, you know, I got the whole set, a couple stubbies. So but I really like these Flank Drive Plus from Snap-on. I got those in metric, my standard set's inside. Next drawer down here, I got a little bit of that Harbor Freight in there sprinkled in again. So these are just the Allen heads and then a punch set from Mac and a long pick set. This next drawer is used to be just my 1/4" drive drawer set. But you know, I got some more old school Snap-on, some Craftsman. But I've really been getting into a lot of these European cars where they use these triple squares. So of course had to get those, and then had to get them in the shallow drive, and then with the, you know, inverted. I mean, you just, every time you think you have something, they come out with something different. But you know, got the long reach swivel head, 1/4", and then of course the short, tiny little 1/4".
Tiny little guy.
So, next drawer down here is kind of all my old wrenches, kind of a bit of a catch-all, but I got, so this ratchet actually came in pretty handy. This is from Maco. It's a swiveling, ratcheting O2 sensor, long reach.
With the opening on the end.
Correct, yeah, that way you can get up in there in tight spots. Of course, adjustable head, you know, crow's foot. So, and then these snap-in sockets for spark plugs come in super handy. So again with the Snap-on grab-and-go kit, so this is your 3/8 set.
Nice.
In both standard, metric, shallow, and deep. Comes loaded, ready to go, so you can just grab it and head out and do what you got to do. Of course, specialty sockets, you know, you always get into those. This here is one of my first kits I got. This was a S&K 3/8 drive set. I really like these because their deep well of S&K is almost the same length as a Snap-on mid well. Problem is I don't have a rep around here, and the 10mm, the dreaded 10mm, is cracked out on me. So.
And S&K always looks so old school.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
I've had them for a long time. I bet I've had those things for 20 years every bit. you know, we get into some big stuff, like a socket here, yeah, 2 3/8. So, yeah, 2 1/4. But then also some specialty sockets, you know, like your 12-point deep wells. Got the same thing for doing like the DD15s, head and main bolts. I got both sets of those. So, let's see here. This next drawer, Texas Twister. So this is kind of where my air tools have come to die. You know, air tools are a bit of a thing of the past anymore. Everybody's running electric for everything. But this Texas Twister is a pretty sweet setup. This is from Maco, but it's for pulling CV shafts out. Get into tight areas and run it in your air hammer so that you can drive it outward. So yeah, I really like that kit.
It makes a huge difference, especially on a job like that.
Yep. Oh, here's something I always wanted that I worked to get. So this isn't the swivel head style, but it is a Chicago pneumatic, but it's like what I always called it is a impact air ratchet. So forward and reverse settings. Originally bought this for doing fan hubs on semis. It gets into tight area and it's got a ton of torque. So I really like that.
Still use it?
Not anymore. No, not really. Bottom drawer is all bigger specialty stuff. This is a pretty cool kit, if you guys have ever seen one of these before. So this is for separating ball joints. That way you can, you don't damage them. But this kit has different size adapters, and then it's just like a pivot press to pop them out. So it's a pretty sweet, handy tool. I've used it quite a few times. So I'm just big on saving all my original packing. I don't know. My wife says I'm weird.
She's right.
You're right. Of course, got the big U-joint presses, bigger, smaller. This one here I got warranted out. Haven't got a chance to even put it back together yet. And then got the tiny one. So, but then got your seal drivers for like your forward front end axles. You know, they got different ones of those. I got 3 different sets of those. And then my S&K half-inch drive set. So we were talking about big sockets in the last drawer up. So here we got big
old boys.
Yep, axle socket here. This one here's a 4 7/8. So you just never know what you're going to run into out there.
Sockets are above my pay grade.
Well, those are all like you buy it, you use it one time, and then never again. Top drawer, just a bit of a collect-all. Got some zip ties and paint markers, whatnot. Next drawer down, I got some files, magnets, measuring tape. Yeah, sorry, I don't use that too often. I fix cars, I don't build things. This is a pretty sweet race punch set. So my old S&K screwdriver set, but this is a race punch. So what's cool about it, it's a rounded edge, but then they're different lengths so that you can get down into a hub and press your races out. So you can see I've used those quite a bit. Those come in super handy. So same with this. This is a nice little set. So this is a diamond file set for cleaning electrical terminals on like trailer plug connectors.
Whoa.
So that's a pretty...
They always get gummed up.
Always, man. Bearing and race seal driver set from Mac. It's pretty handy. Used it quite a few times. This is just a little kit I've built that is for electrical pinouts and testing. Of course, got the strippers, the double jointed. Right, I really like that style.
Yeah.
Quick and fast, especially in a tight area. And then again, my hose drawer. So got my air hose and some hose repairs, extension cords, trouble light. Now we'll bring over to our far right side. So final bank here. My top drawer. First 3 drawers are a bit of a catch-all, but they all serve their own purpose. So I don't know if you guys saw this on Maco's site. I don't know. I used to everyday carry it with me, but the end got loose on it and whatnot. But it's nice for removing those push pins. Yeah. So, but of course, you got to have your measuring devices, your dial calipers, your little cheat gauge for bolts. This comes in super handy. So, and of course, I'm old school, so I like the old book with the equivalent, conversion charts and whatnot. There's an old tool. You know what that is?
It's a spark plug adapter.
Yeah, and the end of it here, so it's actually stuck right now, but this is made by Champion, but it's got a dial like the old click pins, you know?
So it sets the depth?
Where you turn it to what size you need, and then you would move this lever, and then they'd slide out of the end here for what gauge you need to what you're working on. Some of these little whiz wheels, the hard plastics, those come in super handy with not being super abrasive to the material. Here we go, these kits. So now you're getting into my wheelhouse. So electronics and specialized bolt extraction, you know, like the old candle wax trick, you know. But these kits here are a lifesaver. So when you snap a tap off in a hole, this set here is for removing. So you can see I broke them. I got some replacement ends for them. But it's for removing a broken tap from a hole. So this slides down onto your tap that's broke off in it. You'd slide this collar down to it, and then you can use your same tap socket to extract your broken tap out of the hole. So if you go too hard in it or whatnot, and
broken taps are not easy to remove.
Nope. So, of course, I got 2 sets of those. And then this is another set I bought. I think I got this set off Amazon. Kind of does the same thing, but it's just a straight fluke. And then you'd have to use the, whichever numbered size best fits your application. So, that one came in handy. We broke a tap off in a, we were doing an injector cup extraction on a Ford. So,
well, what's this here? What's that right there?
This one here, so this is a nut splitter. So if you get into a pinch where you can't get the nut off, you can't run a torch or anything like that. So this, you run this in and it actually splits the nut, except I put an impact on it and it shattered the back side. So still works.
It's a handy tool to have.
It is. Got the snap-on carbide burr sets. I love my carbide bits, and you can see I got multiple sets. I got a whole Mac set, but I think it's still in the shop. Maybe one of these days we'll do a shop tour review. Yeah. My brass drawer. So out on service calls, you never know what kind of brass fittings and whatnot you need, what you're going to run into. So it comes in handy having some of those.
Sometimes you got to jerry rig up airlines to get it to move.
Yep. So this is my plier drawer over here. Knipex, I guess, or Nipex, however you guys say it. This is kind of like those snap-on, the death grips, but I like those style as well. Next is my 3/8 ratchet drawer.
That's the money drawer,
right? So I got just about every ratchet that Snap-on makes. I got the straight, I got the flex head. This one is a bit unique. So this is a 1/4 inch drive body with a 3/8 head. So I actually had one, it was my grandfather's, but it was I don't know, maybe an inch shorter. And they said, well, we don't make one that size anymore. And I said, well, get me one that is 1/4 inch drive, and let's put a 3/8 head in it. So this is back when they first started doing that. So had that switched over. This thing comes in super handy, but it is a fine tooth, so very smooth, but not as smooth as the 0 degree.
Yeah.
So this thing is nice. The only thing I don't like about it is the bulkiness of the head size, because sometimes when you're trying to get into a tight area with just the where you need the 0 degree, is that head is just so large. So yeah, so sometimes you got to run it out. And then of course got it in the swivel head. You got your stubbies. This one I've actually found I like a bit more for doing transfer cases to get to that top bolt. Yep, up above it. Yep. So that one comes in super handy. And of course the long reach. And then this one I like. So it's got the swivel head, but this end down here also spins. So you can use it as a speed wrench.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I like that one. Bit of unique, haven't used it a lot, but when you do use it, it comes in handy. So, got the Blue Point locking extensions, and then these are the swivel extensions from Snap-on.
Yeah, the locking extensions are irreplaceable with spark plugs.
A bit of a hammer drawer. So this is a mini sledge I made. So it comes in, not super long, but got a lot of force to it. So In my next drawer, we start to get into more of my tap and thread repair type stuff. You know, lettered number set, whatever. This one here, so I got a cool story about this one. This is one I tried to make to drill the end of a tap out to get down into a radiator where you screw a transmission line into. So I now have, they make a special tap kit that is hollow in the center for doing just that.
Tapping the bungs.
Yep. So you don't have to try to drill out those. But this is my standard drawer, and then this is my metric drawer. So obviously you can see I got a lot more of the metric. That's what stuff is more commonly. Yep. And then got a big kingpin reamer kit, and then a big tap set. And then my bottom drawer, just some chains, some more numbered lettered drill bits, and some punches and whatnot. But that's pretty much toolbox review on here. I mean, don't get me wrong, we got a lot more stuff, a lot more things we can go through. We've also got a whole nother toolbox set up in the shop, so maybe we can make that a part 2. So, well, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in.